How important is your EDC trigger? Well, we're going to go over that. The stock micro. I'm going to test the stock micro now. All right. So we'll do the stock micro. 5.76 on the stock micro. Let's do that again. I just want to make sure that that's right. .7. So like, it's kind of inconsistent. That could also be because I've got a really cheap tool.
Yeah. Did you?
Oh, it did.
Look, that's going really high.
Okay, let's try this again. And here's, maybe if I do this. If I hold it really still like this. .52. Let's do the stock other one again. So 5.52 on the micro. Again, that was stock. So it looks to be between 5 and 6 on the stock on the micro for the OEM trigger. Let's do the OEM trigger on the full size. .3. 5.3.
You didn't hold that very well.
That's okay.
Didn't get to see it very good.
5.86.
What's the other number?
Kilograms.
Okay.
That one was light, 4.62.
Yeah.
Dad,
Yeah?
can you make me and Riley pizza rolls while we tan?
Sure. Give me like 10 minutes and I'll come up there and make them.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna do it one more time. Just to make sure I'm not doing anything funky.
Ooh, right at 5.
5. So this one's super inconsistent. The stock OEM trigger on this is really inconsistent. Oh, I'm gonna talk. Hey guys, Below Average Utah Dad here. So I have both of my I have all 3 of my PSA daggers, I should say. So I want to show you real quick. So I have Hey guys, Below Average Utah Dad here. I am making a quick video because I talk about Delta Team Tactical a lot. Again, I'm not sponsored by them. However, Delta Team Tactical, if you want to sponsor me, I'm just up north from you guys. I talk about their triggers for Glock. I talk about their parts kits for inexpensive AR builds. I've had a great experience with mine. I think that if you're building an AR pistol, AR platform, I think they're a great solution to look at, and they're inexpensive. But a conversation came up about carry guns and what is the best kind of trigger, because obviously you guys know I have PSA Dagger, and I have all 3 of their models. I have the Dagger Compact, this one, the Dagger Full right here, and I have the Dagger Micro, all respectively clones of the Glock 19, Glock 17, and Glock 43X. None of them have the stock PSA trigger. I wasn't a huge fan of the stock trigger in PSA. Again, I love PSA's products. The trigger I felt was a little squishy. It was good trigger pull, good smooth pull, just not a real definitive wall. And then it just kind of suddenly go. So maybe for some of you that's fine. More than anything, I didn't like the way the hinge trigger, if you've ever seen one, I've got some around here somewhere, I don't want to find it. If you've ever seen the hinge trigger as opposed to the slotted trigger guard or trigger safety look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate just some in-hand trigger pulls so that you guys can see what it looks like. I'll just do one of these in all three of them, and then I'll use my super inexpensive. This is just the one I got off of Amazon. You guys know how much I love Amazon. I think this was like 12 bucks. Is it perfect? No. Is it going to be good enough? As much as people don't like when I say that, yeah, it's going to be good enough to give you an idea what the weight on these triggers are. So the triggers from Delta Team Tactical are called the TF Tactical 2.0 Lightning trigger. They're a short pull, short reset trigger. I like them. They're milled aluminum. They're solid. They have a really nice wall, and you'll get to see what they look like. So I'm doing a review of those here in the room. So, all right, empty. Good grief. You guys can see I'm empty. All right. So here we go. And look, solid trigger safety right there. It's smooth, it works. So, you know, you get a decent holster. Again, you guys have seen I carry the CYA holster. Again, bought it on Amazon. Specifically, get the one for the dagger. The PSA dagger has a different trigger guard shape than the standard Glock 19 and Glock 17. So it doesn't fit some Glock holsters because of this difference in shape. So if a company has holsters, check and see if they have the dagger first before you go straight for the Glock. All right, we're gonna do this again. Here we go. So there's the wall. So look out for, look at the travel. Ezra, can you see that?
Yeah.
Can you see it in focus?
Yeah, it's in focus.
Okay. So travel there, that's it. That's the wall. That's how short the travel is. And then from there you go. So what does that look like pressure wise? All right, so I'm going to try to do this. I apologize if it's not perfect. I'm probably going to do it this way. Can you see this, bud?
I don't think it's really in focus.
Okay. Can you help me turn it? I want the gun to be in focus. Can you turn it to be at the gun? You
Would
can
this
set
work?
it. You can set it down.
I know, I can hold it though.
Okay. Okay, so you can see it really well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're zeroed out. So this is the pressure. So 4 pounds right there. We'll do it again. Zero it out. .62. We'll do 3 so that we can take the average of the 3. 4.34. So 4, 3.62, that puts us at 8, and then like it puts us at 7.96, and then 4.08 puts us at 12. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. So you get of the 3, we averaged 4 pounds in trigger pull. So again, that's the TF Tactical trigger. I'm going to do the same thing again with this one. You can see.
You're in focus. Okay, I fixed it.
Okay, here we go. And then I'm going to do, there's our travel. That little travel, and I like that. There's the reset. Okay, and now we'll do the actual thing again. Thanks, Ezra. Oh, and I am zeroed. Can they see that it's zeroed?
Yeah.
Okay. $4.26. $4.44. $4.02. So again, we're right around 4.25 pounds on the PSA Dagger full size, PSA Dagger compact. Now, in the Glock 43X, I actually have an Apex tactical trigger. It's not milled aluminum. It is some kind of polymer, plastic, whatever. I don't think it's milled aluminum. It might be milled aluminum. I can't remember. But anyways, this is the Apex trigger. I got this from Midwest Gunworks. It was on sale for a pretty good price. So again, I'm going to show you what we have. So here we've got nice, the trigger safety works really well. We're going to go ahead and put our finger in. All right, we're going to show the trigger movement, the pull. So not as solid of a wall. It kind of, like right about here is the wall. The TF Tactical, the Delta Team Tactical brand, or provided triggers are definitely more of a solid wall. You like this, I kind of know where it is because I can feel it get a little bit more tension, but the other one, like you feel it stop, and then it goes. There's the travel. So a little bit more travel on this one. Okay, but again, really nice reset, smooth reset, and pull. So now we'll do the same thing. We'll do the poundage on it. Poundage. That's right, guys. That's what she said. Okay. So we're zeroed.
I can't see it. Okay, there I can. There we go.
All right, we got the trigger right.
Mm-hmm.
That one said 6. That was 3.8. I think when I did that that first one, I think I was grabbing onto, I think I was touching the 4.12. I think it was scraping against the side, so. Have you guys seen the actual mount each time?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I've showed the blue screen. The entire blue screen.
Okay.
Is it set to 0?
Yeah, it's set to 0.
Okay. Your finger is covering it right now, though.
4.34. So again, even with the Apex tactical trigger, we're still looking at about 4 to 4.5 pounds. That was a little bit lighter at 3.5. One more time. $3.8. So I feel like the Apex tactical one is a little bit lighter, but because it's again with that, because it's a smaller frame, I feel like I'm grabbing the side of it when it's going up. So I think this is probably a little bit closer to like 3.8 to 4, whereas the other two are between 4 and 4.5. So what is the ideal trigger weight for precision shooting versus tactical versus defensive, combat shooting? I'm not the expert in that. I switched the triggers out on mine because I didn't like the way that the old triggers felt. I didn't like that they were kind of squishy. There wasn't a solid wall. It was just like you kept pulling and pulling and pulling, and then it just went. So that's why I swapped mine. Now, some conversations I've had with some friends. Again, I told you guys, I'm not an expert in this. I'm an enthusiast. I think everyone should own guns, but I don't think everyone needs to own guns. I will never tell someone that they need a firearm, because that implies that you cannot exist without it. I think you should. I think that survival of the fittest dictates that if you don't own a firearm, then someone inevitably may end up trying to take advantage of you with a firearm. So, let the stupid people suffer the consequences of being stupid and not owning guns. I won't be the one to do that. I want to make sure I'm very clear. But there are people in this world that will, if they have the opportunity to take advantage of you, they will. That being said, little tangent. What is the perfect weight? Most of the people that I've talked to said anywhere at the lightest, maybe 3.5, but typically right around 4 to about 7 is going to be kind of the sweet spot on trigger pull for a defensive gun. The reason, my understanding for that is because you don't want it to be too light, because when the adrenaline's pumping and shit's going on, when you have to brandish the firearm, you're probably not going to be brandishing the firearm like this. You might, but chances are your adrenaline, everything's going to be going overload. You're going to be probably more like this, or with your finger on the trigger ready, because if you need to pull the trigger, you need to pull the trigger. All right. And maybe that's the argument to having a heavier trigger, so that if you are going to do it, it's deliberate the way that you're pulling the trigger, as opposed to having a super featherweight trigger. I don't think any of these are super featherweight, but I do think that they're lighter than a typical trigger, a stock trigger for sure. The stock PSA triggers, if I remember right, and I'd have to go back and see if I can find it in another video. Maybe I'll cut that in. I think they were about 8 pounds. So I've decreased that by about 50%, a little bit more than 50% in some cases. So I really like the performance of these triggers. They're nice, they're light, they're crisp and smooth, which to me is the more important thing, the way that it feels. Again, I think, and I have said many, many times, what are you as a shooter, if you're new to this world, if you're new to this environment, what are you as the shooter experiencing? If it's not comfortable, you're not going to want to do it. So make it as comfortable as possible. Make the pistol as comfortable as possible. Not so comfortable that it becomes dangerous to yourself and others, or more dangerous to yourself and others than having a pistol already is, or a firearm in general already is. But you need to be comfortable with it. You need to want to shoot it. You need to enjoy shooting it, so that you can be proficient, so that if the time, heaven forbid, ever comes that you need to use your firearm in a defensive scenario. Because everybody makes videos about how to train and what tactics to use, and center of mass versus really small MOA, and they make lots of videos. Not a lot of people make videos on the fact that nobody wants that scenario to happen. I don't want that to happen. I know those guys don't want it to happen either. I'm friends with a lot of the guys that you guys watch. You know that. You're in my streams, I'm in their streams. We shoot the shit. We have a good time. All right? Nobody wants to have to shoot a firearm at another human being. It's not something anybody wants. All right? It's something that we're willing to do to protect ourselves, our family, our property. Dogs are property, just so you know, in almost all 50 states. They're not members of the family. So anyone who says that, makes the argument, is a burglar's life worth your property? Yeah, a burglar's life, I'll take a burglar's life to protect my dog if they're going after my dog, or somebody who wants to harm my dog. Yeah, my dog is my property, because that's how most states view pets. We don't want to take that ultimatum. This can be a great deterrent. It can push someone away. It can make them think twice before they take action. But if they continue to take action even after seeing it, that's the beauty of this tool. Is the deterrence is also the warning. It's the do you really want to do this? My son's like not down the line, just so you know. He's a cameraman, but he's watching from another avenue. So, do you really want to go this route? And then if they choose to continue, they know that deadly force is implied. They know what the end result will be. And in their mind, if they're thinking, no, game, bet, I'm going to do it anyways, then the argument is they knew what the end result would be. And so then you neutralize the threat. Again, not something that we want to do, but it is something that we're willing to do to protect our family and our loved ones and our property. But psychologically, like, that's the deep side. That's the part that nobody talks about. That's why I say nobody wants to do that. None of us want to do it. But we're mentally, I hope everyone has mentally thought about that. If you're willing, like, there's the mental side of it. We carry the guns, we talk about carrying the guns and all the tactics. How many of us are mentally prepared? How many of us are mentally ready? Like, we're mentally able to say, yes, we're going to take the life. But are you mentally prepared for the aftershock of, I just took a life? You might want to think about that one. I'm not trying to dissuade you from carrying a firearm. No, I'm trying to prepare you emotionally, behaviorally, and mentally, because it is not, and physically, the toll that it will take on you physically. Trust me on this. I've done stuff, all right? Won't go into detail, but trust me on this. It takes an emotional toll. It is to take a life is something that it should not be. It is one of the most unnatural things that a human can experience, because we're taught, we understand the value and preciousness of life. And so when you're in that situation and you are going to take a life, you're not thinking about the after effect of it, the taking part. You're thinking about the protection side of it. There's a whole other side of it of you just took a life. That's a life that won't be lived. Even though someone may have been threatening your family, threatening you, threatening your dog, threatening your neighbors. That's a life that will never be lived. It's gone. A lot of people who carry guns, we have another belief about a specific type of life that we all very adamantly fight to protect, about unborn lives. It's a life that doesn't get to be lived when you end up taking that life. So think about those things. Mentally weigh those things out. It's a multifaceted subject, and not a lot of people talk about it. And it's hard to talk about it, but it's something that you should be thinking about and considering, because it's part of it. It's a big part of it. And you need to mentally be prepared, because that's something that doesn't never go away. You carry it with you forever. Believe me. So, with that being said, it's kind of evolved. The video kind of evolved. This is going to be, you guys know, I don't have editors. I don't have software that I use. I record it with my phone, and then you guys get to see it. So you guys know this is uncut and raw. I appreciate everybody who stayed and watched. I hope that this meant something. I hope that you learned something from this. Again, shout out to PSA. I really like the PSA Dagger platform. It's a Glock clone. I get it. Palmetto State Armory, Palmetto State Armory, whatever you want to refer to it as. It gets the job done. It's effective. It's inexpensive. It's the everyman's tool. It works, and I trust it with my life. And then shout out to Delta Team Tactical for providing really good parts and build quality tools at a great price, and Midwest Gunworks for some of the great sales that you've had. Again, Apex Tactical Trigger on the 43X, easy to install, great solution. All the parts needed to do that upgrade, they're available. on their website. So the only other thing that I would say is if you're interested in being put into the or having a chance at winning a PSA dagger, please subscribe to the channel if this is your first time here. If you're already subscribed, consider becoming a member. There's different membership tiers that helps out the channel. And when we do the 10,000 gun giveaway or 10,000 subscriber giveaway, that's probably going to be your best bet at doing it. It's going to be open to all of the subscribers. I'm going to do a live stream, but basically what it's going to be is we're going to select from the people that are on the live stream, and the people that are members are going to be given more opportunities to win than people that are just a one and done subscriber. Which is a little different how my other giveaways go. But we still have other giveaways. We still have the snacks giveaway every time we get $100 donated to the channel, either in memberships or in online donations and live streams. I send you out a care package with some deployment snacks, some deployment energy drinks, and a t-shirt vinyl for you to put on any 100% cotton t-shirt. And then the big one, the $500 giveaway or donation swag, is a really good package this time around. You're getting the gun mat from Ghost Ink. You're also getting the Ghost Ink Edge Bar for the 42, 43, 48 models, or the micro dagger if you happen to have it, if you want a little bit lighter trigger. We're also giving away the signed Kayvon t-shirt, the Kayvon digital download, and you're gonna get the snack pack, so you're gonna get the 6-pack of Rip-Its, you're gonna get the deployment snacks, you're gonna get the vinyl iron-on t-shirt, and you're gonna get a retro gaming PC, micro gaming PC, built by me with a bunch of games for your Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1. I'm gonna hook you up with that. Runs on Linux, really easy to use. You plug in any USB controller and USB mouse, and you've got yourself a nice, cool retro gaming PC. So I'm gonna take care of you guys. Really good swag pack once we get up to the $500. I think we have $300 to go. So just like any of the other donations and swag giveaways, it's not who donates the most, it's who happens to donate when we cross that threshold. So it's open to anybody that donates. You could donate $1, you could donate $20. Doesn't mean that you're gonna get it, either one. It's just luck of the draw. It's the fairest way that I can think to do it, because some of us are more well off than others, so I'm trying to make it as fair as possible. Again, love you guys. If you want to send anything to the channel, you have all the contact information on my channel splash page. You can send it to the P.O. Box. You can email me at belowaverageutah@gmail.com. I think I've said I love you guys like 3 times. I really do. I have love in my heart. Zesty Baba Yaga says hello. Always carry every day. Always carry with a round in the chamber. Stay zesty, my friends. Okay, so we're zeroed. And it is not loaded YouTube. We're pulling. There it goes. 7.2 pounds is a stock trigger on the regular dagger. So the trigger that's in the regular dagger is the same one that's in the compact.